Hey. Yeah. Yeah. It's a vibe, y'all. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, #MovieBay. I am MovieBay, and in this video, y'all, I'm going to be doing a review over the Traitors US episode 4. Talk about throw your head for a loop. But before we get to it though, I would like for y'all to drop down and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Because here at Movie Bay, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television. And if that is the type of content you like, you might as well stick around and hit the subscribe button. And if you find yourself enjoying my commentary along the way, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below. Now, when I tell y'all this episode really threw me for a loop, I'm not even holding y'all. Like, I thought the episode was going to be real cut and dry, plain and simple. And then it said, whoop. Not doing that. They trying to come for their second Emmy. Do y'all hear me? So let's go ahead and get into this review, y'all. So as y'all know, episode 3 left us on the cliffhanger because the Traitors were tasked with unaliving in plain sight. And we always know that these are the riskiest tasks for the Traitors to complete because you have to do it amongst all the faithfuls and of course not get caught. So they had to go into like this secret room, like a fake little laboratory that's like kind of like off of the kitchen or what have you. And while they're in there, they are being so loud. They're being so loud. Emphasis on Bob the drag queens being super loud, where at least 3 people heard conversation going on. It was Dylan, Baby Efron, Robin, and Gabby. Now that's when the episode ended. Now when episode 4 began, Gabby hears Danielle's voice coming out of the room, and she knew nobody was in there, and then all of a sudden she hears Danielle's voice. So she scurries away because she doesn't want Danielle, if Danielle is a traitor, to unalive her. Okay, keep that in mind. So now that the Traitors had to write down the names of 3 people of who they want to shortlist for unaliving, they choose Sierra Miller, Nikki Garcia, and Jeremy Collins. Now let's talk about their selection. Hated it. Danielle really was vocal and instrumental about putting Jeremy in the box because he had said her name. And I was thinking, okay, he said your name to, according to editing, Nikki and Carolyn. I mean, Nikki is an alliance of 3, but it's just, to me, it was too risky to want to even put him in the box because he could, if he survived the unaliving, he could say, well, I said this person's name. It's the only person's name I said, and now I was in the box. You know what I'm saying? So it was just too risky in my opinion. I like that they went with Sierra because I definitely thought that they should go with somebody low key. And I honestly feel like Nikki is a good person to put in the box because they really wanted to put a quote unquote traitor in the box, which was dumb. So I'm happy Boston Rob said, no, don't do that. If y'all watch the show, I watched the US every season and I watched the other countries as well. When it comes to this unaliving in plain sight, or when they have to like give a short list to the earthers, then they always put a traitor in there to I guess throw people off of the scent, like, oh, it can't be this person because, you know, why would they put themselves in the box? I'm so happy this cast at least caught on to that because they don't catch on to a lot of things. So if they had put Carolyn in the box like they wanted to, like Bob and Danielle wanted to, then Carolyn would have gotten a lot of heat this episode. So another good alternative would be Nikki. Nikki is somebody that other people could possibly see as a traitor. Okay, so I agree with Sierra because she's low key, and Nikki because she could be seen as a traitor. But Jeremy, I don't know. I probably honestly would have put, I think Baby Efron, but he did call out Bob very publicly. I don't know who would have been that, because I would have chose all random, all low-key people. I definitely would have tried to break up that little Bambi alliance. I would have put all 3 of them in there. Matter of fact, I'm putting all 3 of the Bambi alliance in there. One of y'all gots to go. Gots to go. Now, at breakfast the next morning, there is a group of women talking. I believe it's Robin, Gabby, Dolores, and I felt like, and Chriselle. So they're all talking, and Gabby brings up how she hears Danielle's voice in that little book room because after they came out of the book room, baby Efron went back in there and was like, something is off. And Danielle went with him. And there was another person, y'all. I could have sworn it was another person, but they kept the camera on Danielle and baby Efron. And he knew something was going on in this book room. And Gabby also knew that as well. So she brought it up at the breakfast table in front of those women. So there, as people come in, they already know the last 3 people to come in because they were shortlisted. It will be Sierra, Nikki, and Jeremy. So they're just waiting to see who was actually picked off by the traitors. And as they're waiting, the topic of the book room comes up. Robin asked Gabby, like, hey, do you want to talk about the library? You want to talk about the library? Okay, so we heard voices in the library yesterday, and apparently that's where the traitors wrote down who they wanted to unalive. So who was in the library? I was like, dang, that's bold. Dang, that's bold. I was going to ask everybody out front like that. And I immediately thought, like, okay, baby Efron, what you going to say? Danielle, what y'all going to say? So Danielle fessed up to being in the book room. And baby Efron, she said, I was in there with, what is his real name, y'all? Baby Efron, Dylan. She said, me and Dylan were both in there. And yeah, something did seem off. And then Bob the drag queen spoke up and said, I actually went in there too because somebody told the new guys about it. So everybody was checking it out. So immediately when Bob the drag queen said that, Gabby was like, dang, I thought I had a hunch, but I guess not if so many people were going in and out of that library. So when the final 2 people come in, before they went to commercial, I saw a woman's hand for sure. And I told my mom, I said, they're like a white person hand. I said, that's either a white person or I guess it could be a light-skinned black girl, but Sierra didn't look that light to me. But anyhow, after the commercial break, Sierra and Nikki both come in and we find out that Jeremy is the one that got eliminated. And I was not ready for Jeremy to go. Now, I am not a Survivor fan. I don't think I've ever watched a full season of Survivor. I tried, y'all, but I was just like, nope, not for me. But he just seemed like really cool, really genuine. And honestly, he probably would have taken down the traitors. So, I mean, I guess it was a good thing that they got rid of him. I didn't even mention they had to plead their case before the coffin was closed. And Sierra was like, F y'all, I'm coming after y'all full force. Nikki said, I'm good for the challenges so I could get y'all money. And Jeremy was like, I will work with y'all if y'all keep me alive. I was like, Jeremy, why would you do that? Because as a faithful, I will vote you out the next Roundtable, boo. So when he said that, I said, nah, baby. You unalive either way, because if the traitors keep you to quote unquote work with them, the faithfuls are gonna vote you out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess it would have just been one more delay at the round table, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, I was not ready for Jeremy to go. He cried on his way out, and it really made me sad, honestly, because like I said, I first off, I'm not used to the survivors. Tony went last week. He cried, made me sad. I had a crush on Tony, y'all. I just found out he had a wife and kids. Sorry, but I like Tony. And then Jeremy go out next. I say, wow, they just picking off the survivor people now. And if I was on this show as a faithful, y'all think a housewife is a traitor? I think a survivor player is a traitor. It's 4 of them. You do the math. And that already narrows it down now to 2 people, Carolyn and Rob, which is another reason why I felt like unaliving Jeremy was stupid, because that will paint a target on Rob and Carolyn's back. I'm not going to hold you. I love Bob. I love Danielle. I like Boston Rob, but they are not, I don't know, Carolyn, they are not being smart. You have to think about the outcome of every move. If we unalive Jeremy as Carolyn, I no longer have a faithful ally. Here's my strategy. As a traitor, every traitor needs one faithful of the faithfuls as their ally, because that faithful will go tooth and nail, will go to bat for you to confirm that you are a faithful. And that was Jeremy for Carolyn. I mean, Carolyn for Jeremy. Yeah, I said it right the first time. I said it right the first time. So eliminating Jeremy immediately got rid of one of Carolyn's alliance. And like I just said, it shines the light on the other 2 survivor players that are left, Boston, Rob, and Carolyn. And oopsie, one of the 2 are traitors? No, 2 of the 2 are traitors. I would have been like, absolutely not. Jeremy stays in the game. Sorry, Danny. Sorry, Danielle. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, not doing that. Pick another one because it's not that one. What else happened? I don't think nothing else happened at breakfast. I talked about how I think unaliving Jeremy was not the right move, but I think they didn't even have the right people in the box, if I'm being 100. So let's proceed. All right. Why did I have this on here? Oh, I think I know. All right. So the challenge for the day is basically they have to run up and down a hill, and there are, I guess, like 18 of them, but only 10 heads and statues. So if you have a completed statue at the top, you get a shield for the night's elimination. Emphasis on schmurder. Okay. Now, it's a challenge, and a lot of the women can't carry these big statues up the hill. So this becomes really quickly a male-dominated challenge, which is becoming a running theme on this show, The Traitors. Traitors, my only advice to you is to become a little bit more equitable, because you had Bob H out there about to have a second heart attack. Let's talk about Bob H real quick. Bob H doing this challenge, and yes, he was a trainer on The Biggest Loser. My mama said about 40 years ago. I said, no, mama, maybe like 20 years ago. But it really broke my heart when he had to keep stopping. And of course, at the end of the challenge, when he gave his speech, because not only as a man, ego and pride, but he was a trainer and an athlete. So not being able to complete this challenge, he said, was really humbling to him. And I'm not going to hold y'all. I almost shed a tear. So shout out to you, Bob H, for pushing through. But I really wanted you to sit down somewhere. I'm not even going to hold you. Now, I don't remember everybody who got a shield for that challenge, but I think I remember who didn't. Derek didn't. Danielle didn't. Sierra didn't. Robin didn't. That might have been it. I'm not 100% sure. Y'all drop down in the comment section down below. But emphasis on Rob got one. Bob the drag queen got one. And I don't know if Carolyn got one. But I do know that as a traitor, you should be trying to take up shield space. No, you don't need a shield, but you should be trying to take up shield space. So that will leave more faithfuls on the table for eliminating. Okay. Now, during the midst of this challenge, Bob the drag queen really, really wanted people to use strategy. Like, we all don't need a shield, so we could strategically only bring up the amount of statues that we actually need to have. And everybody was like, no, we all need a shield. And he was like, no, y'all don't. And I was like, Bob, shut up. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Bob? Everybody needs one. Or act like everybody needs one. Like, because at first I was like, so Bob, are you expecting the traitors to say, oh, you're right, I don't need a shield? Like, why? What was your point of actually saying that? So Bob continued to talk, which is going to be a problem for him. He continues to talk and say, well, the Cage Boys, essentially, because that's what they call their alliance, but 3 new people came in a couple days ago, and we all know that one of y'all is at least a traitor. So he doesn't want to give any of those guys a shield. I was like, Bob, did you forget that one of your fellow traitors is indeed one of those 3 people that you're talking about? Why would you say that? Why would you say that, Bob? Why would you do that? Be quiet. You're talking too much. And during that challenge, he also told Sierra, everybody thinks that you're a traitor, so the traitors are going to keep you around as a shield. Bob. Now, if I was a faithful, and I'm hearing Bob say this, I'm thinking, okay, either he is really strategic or he is a traitor telling me his plans. And you can't be that strategic because you ain't got out no traitors yet. So it has to be the latter. You have to be a traitor telling me your plans. Oh, Bob, baby, that math is going to get you in trouble, honey. So after that, after the challenge, Boston Rob is pissed. Oh, baby, he is pissed. Off camera, we just get the audio of Boston Rob telling West and Derek, we got to go after the head of the dragon. They're like, who is that? Nikki? Because, a lot of people are splitting their votes between Nikki and Sierra, thinking that one of them is a traitor that put themselves in the box. And Boston Rob was like, no, Bob the drag queen. And then they was like, because he called us out, us meaning the Cage Boys. And whoever, I don't know whose voice it was, West or Derek, but they was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, no. OMG. Is a traitor about to turn on a traitor already? already. It's only episode 4. Now, in Boston Rob's defense, why did you even bring up me? Because people are now going to have that in the back of their mind. And even if you said that people are already saying that idea has not been presented to the masses. And now it has, because you said it during a challenge where everybody is here about the drag queen. Why would you do that? So as Bob, I would definitely be pissed for sure. Now, also, on the other hand, I'm thinking, because Bob definitely goes after Rob goes after Bob now. Now he's trying to rally around votes. And of course, when I'm trying to rally around votes, I'm going to start with the Cage Boys because he called us out. Then I'm going to go to Dylan Baby Efron because Dylan Baby Efron called Bob the Drag Queen out at the last roundtable. So now Rob is actively trying to work to get the numbers to send Bob the Drag Queen home. And here is my issue with that, Rob. You have been laying low. You have been low key. And all of a sudden, after Bob the Drag Queen brings up the Cage Boys, the new people, now you want to bring his name up? As a faithful, I would be suspicious. Ain't that suspicious? Ain't that suspicious? Boston Rob? Now, Wes is trying to pull to have Nikki voted out. His thinking is she is a WWE wressler. They get paid to do a lot, to be over dramatic, and Nikki has been very low key. And I'm thinking, because she's not wrestling right now, you doofball. Like, Wes, I see what you're saying, but no. Like, why would I be extra right now if I'm literally not wrestling right now? Like, what are you talking about? Yes, I'm acting different because this is a different competition. This is a different show. Like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm acting different. And then, of course, the other votes are split for Sierra. I don't really know why the votes are split for Sierra. Oh, because she uses a lot of profanity. Yeah, and that profanity is now out of anger and deflection. Okay. So the 3 names that come up at the round table are Sierra, Nikki, and Bob the Drag Queen. Wes starts off going at Nikki, saying that, you know, because of her profession, she should be acting one way, but she's acting another. Okay. She tried to like flip it back on him, and I said, no, Nikki, that doesn't really work. You try to have an argument, but you really didn't have an argument. Sierra, they said the same thing, using profanity to deflect. You were upset because maybe you didn't want to be in a box or whatever. I was like, not a good argument either. No, not a good argument either. And as people are calling out Nikki and Sierra, Dylan, Baby Efron, and Rob, Boston Rob, are looking back and forth at each other like, are you going to say something? 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 I was like, don't say anything. Because in my head, Rob, you do not have the votes. He tried to pull Danielle and Carolyn in to get them to vote. And Danielle was like, I'm not doing that. And Carolyn was skeptical. But Carolyn will go wherever the wind blows, baby. She is Dorothy. Okay. Fly her off from Kansas to the Wizard of Oz. So they're looking at each other saying who's going to say what. And eventually, Rob speaks. And when Rob speaks, he says, essentially to the effect, I didn't write everything down, but he was like, we need to start looking in the obvious places. This person commands the room. They have spearheaded every elimination or every discussion. And every time something is brought up, it's deaded or what have you, something to that effect. And when he said Bob the Drag Queen's name, Bob was visibly shooketh. I have been watching this man on my television since season 6 RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm very fond of Bob. I watch his sibling rivalry podcast. Like, I've watched his projects. We Are Here. Like, okay. Love Bob down, and I ain't never seen him like that. Now, either he a decent actor, you know what I'm saying? He's very funny, very comedic for sure. But to be shook like that, to me, that was the reaction of, I'm genuinely surprised because it is a blind side, but from a fellow traitor. Oh, Bob was shook. And when Boston Rob and Bob was going back and forth at the table, everybody's head was turning like they was watching tennis. Back and forth, back and forth. Oh, they were going tit for tat. Now, Bob the Drag Queen has gone up against Baby Efron at the Roundtable last week. Boston Rob was there with him, and Boston Rob really kept his cool. And Bob the Drag Queen, understandably, did not, because he was upset that a fellow traitor kind of turned on him. So Bob the Drag Queen was like, "I swear to God, I am a faithful." And I'm thinking, Bob, you don't believe in God, do you? And if you do believe in God, I know you got your legs crossing up under there. Like, you are not. You are not a faith. You are not. But you know what? Sell it, baby. Sell it. We got to stay. We got to stay here. But Bob was he was giving it to Boston Rob. You know what I'm saying? Boston Rob was like, "Everybody loves you. You're very charismatic. And that's exactly what you would want to do as a traitor." And Bob was like, "Well, everything you described as me, you could put that on you." And I was like, "Nah, people don't like Rob, Bob. People do not like Rob, Bob. That doesn't work here. That does not work here, baby. You are losing this argument. Save yourself." I really didn't think Boston Rob was going to say anything, because the people who he tried to get votes for, they stuck to their guns and they were going to vote in the way that they were going to vote initially. But Boston Rob ended up turning almost everybody against Bob the Drag Queen, even his fellow traitors, Carolyn and Danielle. Danielle had a hard time flipping that card over to put Bob the Drag Queen's name, but I feel like she did it because she wanted to stand in solidarity with her fellow traitors as to not be targeted next, as well as if you are seen not voting for a traitor, that might shine a light on you that you could possibly be a traitor. So I think it was definitely strategic, even though Danielle had a very, very hard time with that. And I watched Bob the Drag Queen's review over episodes 1 through 3, and he and Danielle are still very close, and they were really, really close in the house and on the show. So her tears, those were genuine tears. That was not the overacting. She really felt bad. Anyways, with almost a unanimous vote, Bob the Drag Queen is banished. And he goes up, and baby, he sells it. He says, "Faithfuls, listen to my words carefully. I will tell you a joke, but I will never tell a lie. I said, I swear to God. But I don't believe in God. I am a traitor. Bye." Oh my gosh. First off, I definitely thought and wanted Bob the Drag Queen to throw some damaging shade at Rob and or Carolyn, because ain't no he don't Carolyn and ain't no he don't Rob. But he probably didn't, as to keep Danielle safe. Probably. And in his confessional on the way out, he did applaud Boston Rob because, one, Boston Rob is scared of me. And it's just good gameplay. Now, honestly, Bob the Drag Queen, as a fan of you, I too would have been scared of you if I was a fellow traitor, but not for the reasons of me thinking you're going to win, but for the reasons of you running your mouth too much and getting somebody in trouble. We've already felt the need to step up and save you before, and now you're running your mouth again, and now you're throwing my name under the bus. You are a dangerous traitor for the worst way, just because you run your mouth too much. And Danielle, you could kind of be seen for the same. Not gonna hold. I am very upset about the Drag Queen is off of the show, however, because that was he brought the confessionals, he brought the round table reads, like, baby, that was half of the show right there. So I'm really interested to see what trajectory the rest of the season is going to go. I know it's going to be a lot more strategic, but just with Bob being there, it was definitely a different type of entertainment. Let's talk about the outcome or the aftermath of Bob the Drag Queen being eliminated and going home, and the future of our fellow traitors. So Carolyn and Danielle both feel blindsided. They both feel like they are not a team right now. They are not acting like a team. And out of all the seasons that I've watched of the traitors, and out of all the countries that I've watched of the traitors, these traitors, Bob, Danielle, Rob, and Carolyn, they are the traitors that do not get along the most. They cannot agree on anything, and they are all over the place. All over the place. So Carolyn and Danielle feel like this is not a team no more. And they look like from next week's episode Flash, they're probably going to try to gang up on Rob and get him out because they just don't feel comfortable with him there. Because if you'll turn on one traitor, you will turn on us all. And of course, that's the name of the game. Eventually, we have to turn on each other. But so soon is episode 4. Like I said, I understand why Rob felt the need to get rid of Bob. But like my mama said, maybe Rob could have just had a conversation with Bob and be like, hey, you talking too much. Keep my name out your mouth. You bringing heat up on me. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, mama, but we know Rob. And if you come after me, I got to get you before you get me. Now, let's talk about the backlash. Afterwards, everybody is licking Boston Rob's bootstraps, baby. I said, they ain't even on Baby Efron. They on Rob. If I was Baby Efron, I would be like, hello. I said this last week. Hello, somebody pay me attention, please, over here. Because they are on Rob. Now, not everybody, though. Oh, no, not everybody. Look at our redhead devil here, Wes. Wes is very, very much so suspicious. Matter of fact, he was suspicious when Rob brought him the idea that Bob the drag queen needed to be taken out. And I know Wes is suspicious because 1 is Rob. 2, like I said, it's all of a sudden. Derek, in the episode that came in, I guess episode 2, said, I know that one of the people I came in with is a traitor. He knew that. He said that in his confessional. I mean, just mathematically, I feel like all of them would know that. So if Derek knows it's not him, he suspects Wes and Rob. Now, if Wes knows it's not him, he suspects Derek and Rob. But now it's like, Rob, yes, it's 1 out of 3. Actually, 1 out of 2. And then you go after Bob the drag queen so hard, and he was a traitor, and he brought up your name. The fingers are pointing towards you, Rob. And this is what Wes is going around telling the house after the vote. Tom, oh my God, Tom Sandoval, is that his name, y'all? He is so weird. He is so weird. He is so quirky. He was like, oh my gosh, Rob is so smart. Every time he talks now, I'm just going to be tuned in like, yes, sir. What did you say? And Wes is just trying to get Tom to understand, how would anybody be 100% sure that someone is a traitor? And he was like, you can't be. He was like, exactly. And it took him a minute. But Ivan and Tom was like, oh. So right now, we are starting to see the consequences to your actions, Rob. This is why it was probably too soon. Half of the house is licking your boots, but the other half is suspicious as to why did you go so hard, so fast, especially after Bob the drag queen mentioned one of the new boys being a traitor. It's not working out in your favor, Rob. Now let's talk about how is Rob going to do his damage control with the fellow traitors. Is my phone ringing? Hold on. It's not. Okay. How is Rob going to do damage control with the fellow traitors? I feel like he can blackmail Danielle. Rob knows that Jeremy had been floating Danielle's name, Carolyn as well. So Rob can use that against Danielle. And Gabby already heard Danielle's voice in the book room where the quote-unquote traitors were. And she has an alliance of 3. Robin was also at that table when Gabby said it, and Dolores. So that's at least Boston Rob, Gabby, Chriselle, Nikki, Robin, Dolores. That's at least 6 votes on Danielle alone. So Rob could definitely blackmail Danielle. Like, you might want to chill out, because I already got heat on your name. You in the back pocket. You in the arsenal. Now, Carolyn, I got to work a little harder for you. But, all right, y'all. Let's talk about possible recruitments. As we all know, once a traitor is down, they do recruit very soon. I don't know if it's going to be episode 5 or 6, but they will be recruiting very soon. And it's my suggestion that they possibly look into recruiting Wes, because Rob can use Wes as a shield. If they said that one of those 3 new people is a traitor, well, you're no longer going to be pitching that idea, are you, baby, if you are one of those traitors? Oh, or he could be going hard against Rob. Interesting. Ooh, I don't know. Who would y'all think should be a new recruited traitor? Let's go to this picture. Danielle, Carolyn, Rob. I honestly don't even want any more men, because all of these are like headstrong men. And the men have been really dominating the competitions. So I really don't know. I honestly feel like the best person for recruitment, that if I was a traitor, that wouldn't beat me, Wes, because people already think that he's a traitor, could be a possible traitor. None of those doughy-eyed ditzy girls. Because I ain't gonna say nobody really suspects them, but I feel like they have done a good job at proving themselves faithful, and I don't even know how strategically well they can think. I do think if Nikki is recruited, though, that might be a good gameplay. So Nikki, Danielle, and Chriselle, what do y'all think? And they can start picking away these men. That's what they could start doing. Well, you guys, thank y'all so much for tuning into my review of The Traitor. I had to watch the episode and come right immediately and record while it was still fresh on my mind and my emotions were still fresh and new. So hopefully I didn't leave anything important out. I don't think I did, but just in case, we could have a conversation down in the comment section below. Be sure you thumbs up the video. It not only lets me know that you enjoy my commentary, but it also lets YouTube know that you enjoy commentary just like this. Competition shows over The Traitor. Like the video, put it in other videos just like it in the algorithm, and of course consider subscribing to the channel because I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television. Emphasis on the competition reality shows, you guys. I'm doing Beast Games on Amazon Prime, RuPaul's Drag Race, and The Traitors. Right now, those are my 3 ongoing competition shows. I just did a movie review over Sugar Mama, and y'all know One of Them Days, produced by Issa Rae, is coming out this weekend. And I gotta support Black business. Yes. And they say Issa Rae is my twin. So you know I gotta support my twin. With that being said, be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.